It's that time again, boys and girls. Every few months, we open up our YouTube community page to your questions, and then I answer them in the form of a video. Without further ado, let's crack on with question number 1, which is this one. Is there a theme you're looking to get into or one you wish you'd gotten into earlier? On the flip side, is there a theme you regret getting into? I don't think there's any that I regret getting into. I love all of the Lego that we've got. It's all very, very cool. I am kind of glad that I'm not into stuff like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, the big expensive stuff that is going to cost me loads of money if I do get into it. That being said, I really, really want to build Rivendell, but I don't have a good excuse to. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I've never read Lord of the Rings. So I did set myself a challenge earlier in the year that I have to read all of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit books to basically be allowed to buy myself Rivendell and just have that as a standalone Lord of the Rings thing. I've read The Hobbit. Didn't really enjoy it, so I haven't started the Lord of the Rings yet, but that is a theme I definitely like to get into. I think I'd like to explore Technic a little bit more as well, but the problem with Technic is that they end up so big and they don't fit in the city because they're a completely different kind of Lego. So it's not something I can put away in the city once I've built it. So for Technic stuff, I need to have a place for it to go on display, and we are running out of displays places. So yeah, Technic is kind of on hold, but I think that would be the next logical expansion for me. But yeah, I'm very happy with my icons, my ideas, my Marvel, my Creative 3-in-1 and City, and they're my main ones, I think. I don't think we need to add too much more. I've pretty much already got all bases covered. When people use your Lego affiliate link, can you see what's being purchased, or do you just see a portion of the sale you earned? I can't see what you purchase individually. Interestingly, on Amazon, you can. So if you use our Amazon affiliate link, I can see the items that are purchased. I can't see who's buying what. I don't get names or anything like that. But I can see every item that's bought through the Amazon affiliate link. But the Lego one, it's a daily total. Shows me how much has been spent, but doesn't show me what's actually being bought, which is a little bit frustrating from an affiliate marketing perspective. It would be useful to know what products are being sold more often through our link so that we could mention the link a bit more often when those products come up, push those products a little bit harder maybe. But yeah, we just get the overall number, and generally it's a fairly solid line. It doesn't vary hugely, apart from when we get stuff like big sales, double points days, new release days, and then we see a big spike. So it's fair to assume that a lot of the spend that goes through the affiliate link is brand new releases and stuff that's on promotions. But yeah, we don't get a breakdown of what the individual stuff is. Do you think a crowded display with many different themes on one shelf is a bad thing? No. I think that's cool. I think that's how Lego should be displayed. I don't like neat and tidy displays. And then getting back into the second part of that, how many months in advance do you plan your budget for the year? I personally plan mine at the start of the year and calculate everything so I can buy the sets I want while staying under my limit. We don't really. It is very much a case of when we get paid by YouTube for the previous month's content, we know that the following month we can't spend any more than we earned the month before. But in reality, we never get anywhere near what we earned the month before. If we did, that would be alarming, because this channel is effectively our full-time job now. It's certainly our highest paying channel at this point. So we kind of pay all of our bills out of Block Party money as well. So yeah, we'll look at what we earned the month before. Obviously, with us being content creators, our income is very up and down and varied. But we'll look at what we earned the month before. We know how much our bills are. We literally transfer once a month this is boring, this isn't Lego, but once a month we'll transfer the amount of our normal bills into our bills account, and then what's left over is Lego money. It's not quite that simple, but yeah, that's how we do it. So it does vary from month to month. But I wouldn't recommend normal people do it that way, because we're not normal. We are Lego content creators. We spend a much higher percentage of our income on Lego than I would recommend anyone else does, because obviously every penny we spend on Lego, we make back more. The last time I did the calculation, I haven't done it for a little while, but the last time I did the calculation, every pound we spent on Lego made us like £4 or £5 in income revenue for the company. And it is pretty easy to track a direct correlation between the two. When we have months where we don't spend a lot, we tend not to make as much. Whether that's a direct correlation or more to do with when we have big release months like January, was one of our highest spending months and one of our highest revenue months. Was that because people were really interested in how much money we spent, or is it more coincidence than correlation? And it's because it was January and so many sets came out, so many more people were interested, and we just happened to spend more again because so many sets were out. And it's that level of it that's quite difficult to check whether it's causation or correlation. But yeah, as a general rule of thumb, the more we spend on Lego, the more money we make. So let's go shopping. Anna doesn't let me live quite by those rules. Talking of Anna, why does Anna like sharks? She doesn't like sharks. She loves them. I've got a couple of different questions. Please don't feel you have to answer them all. I'm going to answer them all. I haven't read them. I might not answer them all. When arranging your buildings, what matters most to you? Is it color consistency, visual texture, or something else? I honestly, I don't put that much thought into it. I just put them next to each other, and if they look like they belong, they stay there. I don't know the criteria I'm applying to that. It's more a case of, yeah, they look cool together, we'll go with that. Do you have any vintage creator houses for your residential area? No. I wish I did, but no. And finally, how do you feel about secondhand parts? The city is full of them. A lot of the boring Lego that we buy, and for new viewers, boring Lego is the stuff that doesn't like go towards a set. So stuff for walls and roads and like the filler stuff. A lot of that is secondhand. And when we've parted out sets on Bricklink, a lot of that, I don't mind getting secondhand as long as it's clean. I don't mind it being secondhand. So yeah, no issue at all with having secondhand parts. A lot of the city is secondhand parts. We wouldn't have so much stuff in the city if we insisted on buying everything brand new in a box, because it costs twice as much doing it that way. So yeah, we just wouldn't be able to get as much. I'm all about the volume. And before we move on to the next question, if you do want to be involved in future Q&As, because people ask for them all the time and I often forget to get around to do them because they require some organization. I have to ask for questions and then wait for questions to come in and then record. And I'm often not that organized, but I'm going to ask you now, if you want to be involved in a future Q&A, let me know your questions down in the comments to this video. And if we get enough come through, we'll do another one relatively soon. So I know people do enjoy this kind of video. So yeah, rather than me asking for them separately, I'm asking for them now. If you've got questions that we don't answer in this video, pop them in the comments section and we'll do another one in a week or two. Do you think the new road plates are good? Are road extenders necessary? Would you ever brick build your roads? Right, 3 questions there. Do I think the road plates are good? When you're doing straight roads or grid layouts, they do look cool. They look more built and integrated than the old style road plates do. But the area where they really let the city down and let layouts down is you just can't do corners. You can't do bends. You can't do curves. You can't do roundabouts. You can't do diagonals. They are very, very restrictive. And that is frustrating because I'm from the UK. We don't have our cities set out in like grids of squares and straight roads with straight roads coming up. Ours are a higgledy-piggledy mess, and I want to be able to represent that in the city, and I can't using road plates, which does tie into the, would I brick build my roads? I would if I had infinite money and infinite time, but it's just so much more expensive. That's the other good thing about the road plates. For what you're actually getting for the end result compared to price that you pay, they are the best value way to do roads. So yeah, in terms of price at the moment, I'm kind of forced into having a grid layout for the downtown area of the city by the nature of the road plates. Would love to brick build them eventually because you can be much more creative with it, but it's so much more expensive and so much more time consuming. And I am limited by both of those factors currently. I'm not sure what a road extender is. Are we just talking about the bits of curb that go on the sides, or? I'm probably I need a clarification of what a road extender is. Has anyone ever got annoyed with you filming and requested you delete the video that they may be in the background of? Not when doing Lego videos, no. I am very, very careful with the Lego videos to try and avoid getting people in the background, certainly when we're in shops. I find that most shops don't mind you filming in there as long as you aren't filming the other customers. So I'm really careful to try and avoid getting people in the background as much as I can when I'm in shops, especially the Lego store, because I do not want to annoy them and get them to ask me to stop filming. Obviously at conventions, people do get in the background a lot more often, but also when you walk into conventions, they have the big sign saying filming will be taking place. If you don't want to be filmed, tell us about it, etc. So people are aware that I'm certainly not the only one walking around conventions with a camera. there's loads of people doing it. I think people just know it's kind of part of going to a convention. If you go to a convention, there's a very good chance you are going to be on camera somewhere at some point from someone. Out and about in public doing non-Lego content, it's happened a couple of times over the years, but it happens far less often than you think. I've made thousands of vlog style YouTube videos over the last 10 plus years and could count on one hand how many times I've been asked not to film or to delete a clip or to blur somebody out in the background. It happens so rarely. And I know it's one of the things that new creators are most afraid of happening. So speaking as old man with lots of experience in this kind of thing, it really doesn't happen that often if you are respectful and not like blatantly going out there and deliberately filming people. If you're clearly filming yourself, people often don't mind being in the background, and more often than not will pull a funny face or yell a hilarious swear word to ruin the take rather than asking not to be in it. What's your favorite Lego city build you've done? And also from a newbie who wants to start my own Lego city, how do I go about starting one? I think we've covered how do I go about starting one in a separate video. If we haven't, it's certainly a video that I am planning on recording to come out while we're away over the next few weeks. So there is a starting Lego city video coming soon. So we've got you covered there. I mean, the simple version is, as soon as you've got 2 buildings and a bit of road, that's a city, and you just expand out from there. 1 building, it's just a set on display. But as soon as you've got 2 connected by a bit of road, as far as I'm concerned, that's a city, and it can expand from there. My favorite build from the city, I mean, the vast majority of my favorite sets ever are in the city. My favorite thing to build is buildings. So we could say Brick Cross Station, we could say Avengers Tower, we could say something like Tudor Corner, any of the Ninjago sets. There's so much. Most of my favorite sets that I've ever built are in the city. I just love building cool buildings. Would love to know more about the Rebrickable process. Fairly new to Lego and would love a Rebrickable beginner's guide. You are in luck, because I know I've made that video before. So I will link to it down in the description below. It is weirdly convoluted and not very user-friendly website. I think it definitely needs a facelift. But I have done videos in the past showing you how to use it. So yeah, I'll link to those. That's the easier. I'm not going to go into it here. If those videos are outdated, because I like to keep my guides and my tutorials up to date. So if I go and find that and realize I haven't done it for 18 months, there will be another video coming soon. Just recovering old ground. But Rebrickable haven't changed their site in about 1,000 years. So most of what I say in any previous versions of a tutorial for it will still very much be the case now, because it just doesn't change. What's the biggest surprise or challenge you've faced while working on your Lego city? I don't know that I've been surprised by anything, because I didn't really have expectations going in. So I don't think there's been any particularly big surprises. The biggest challenge, which I don't think I fully appreciated going in, is how slow the progress is. Because unlike when you're building a set, and I'm a relatively fast builder, and I can sit on a live stream and build like 3 or 4 sets. And I think in my mind, going in, it was like, I'm a fast builder. I'll just build the sets nice and fast. The city will spring up in no time. And I didn't realize where the bottlenecks would be. And the bottlenecks definitely come from sourcing bricks, financing sourcing bricks, and waiting for bricks to arrive. Lego pick a brick orders can take months. I did one back in December that only arrived like 2 weeks ago. So genuinely, if you've not got the bestseller stuff, if you're looking for some rarer stuff, they can take months. Bricklink, if you can't find your Bricklink stuff in the UK and you're having to get them from overseas, sometimes well overseas, like Australia, Asia, the US, once you're starting to get stuff from other continents, postage gets very expensive. And again, they start to take a long time. They can take weeks to arrive. And if you've got pieces that you need, that you can't get them all from the same Bricklink store, then the cost of the delivery starts to increase as well. And so much of building a Lego city has been starting a project, realizing I don't have the bricks to be able to do it, finding the bricks and then either thinking, okay, I can't afford to buy them right now, and putting it on the back burner and revisiting, or placing the order there and then having to wait weeks or sometimes months for the pieces to arrive, and then having to find something else to work on. And then by the time the first ones come, I've changed my plan anyway. I guess to an outsider looking in, it does look like I'm a little bit scattergun with my approach to the city, but a lot of the time that's because of circumstances forcing it on me. And I don't have unlimited money, unlimited space, and unlimited bricks. They're the key things you need for a really impressive Lego city, and I don't have any of them. And yeah, because of that, it's slow progress, and that does get a little bit frustrating at times. But that's the biggest challenge. I wouldn't say it was a surprise though. I don't go into things with much in the way of expectations. I'm hard to surprise. How long do you think it'll be before you have to buy a second house just for storing and displaying all your Lego? I mean, it won't be a second house, but we are actively looking for a new headquarters for Block Party. When we return from our trip, we've looked at a few places, and we are seriously considering, and hopefully before the end of summer, we'll have moved into somewhere that can house the entire channel, the entire business. So it'll be somewhere for the Lego City. It'll be somewhere for us to have a recording studio to do these kind of videos. It will have a streaming studio set up, so the streams will move there as well. A lot of the display collection will move there. And a lot of the Lego that's currently scattered around our house will all come together in one place, which will be where the Lego is. So the idea being long term, because it's just me and Anna living here now. Our kids moved out of home years ago. We don't need a 3-bed house, other than the fact that we're working out of 2 of those bedrooms now. One of them is this office, one of them is the Lego room. There's Lego all over the rest of the house. So the plan is actually to get work out of the house and get that into a workplace, a nice big office area where we can have all of that and go there and do a 9 to 5 there, 5 days a week, and have a place where work takes place. And then we're actually looking to downsize into a smaller place to live, because we don't need all this living space, because most of it is workspace at the moment, and I'd like to separate the two. And plus it then means that we'd like to go somewhere where Anna doesn't have to do any stairs at all. A couple of years ago, we moved from a 3-story to a 2-story house, but her knees and back are both still bad. If anything, they're worse than they were a couple of years ago. So we'd like to get to the point where we could maybe be in a bungalow or an apartment of some kind, just like a little 1 or 2 bed thing. We don't need loads of space, as long as we've got somewhere to do the work from outside of that. And then it also has the advantage of, when we do move house, which we have tended to do fairly regularly, certainly in the last 5 or 6 years, and this is the third address we've had in 6 years. If we do then move again and again, we don't have to move all the Lego, we don't have to move all the work stuff. That will have a permanent home. And yeah, we can get a little bit more work-life balance and a little bit more normality. So that's the plan on that side of things. A smaller house, but a second location for all the Lego. I started a channel myself, and I'm using a phone to record the videos. I was wondering what editing software you use, as I'm not good with technology at all. If you're on your phone doing your recording, you've probably got perfectly good software on your phone that you can use. iMovie, I think if you're on an iPhone, is fine. If you're not good with technology, you're probably not doing really fancy edits, and iMovie will probably get the job done. If you're on an Android, I assume there's a version of that on Android. If you want the slightly fancier version, Adobe Premiere Rush is the mobile version of the software I use, which is Premiere Pro, which I use on my PC and my Mac, or CapCut. CapCut's great. I use CapCut for a lot of the TikToks that we do. So there's plenty of stuff on phone that you can get for free and edit on your phone. If you were filming on your phone and looking to edit on a PC, I'm looking up what the software's called. I forget what it's called. It's not one that I use, because I use Adobe Premiere Pro. DaVinci Resolve, that's what I was looking for. I see a lot of people using that. So that's one that's worth checking out. Although I've never used it myself, because I am an Adobe Premiere Pro guy, because I have been forever. And then lastly, best advice for turning Lego into more than just a hobby and getting into the social media / vlogging side. Keep up the good work. Love the videos. Thank you very much. The best advice I can give for that is just start. and see if you enjoy it and see how long you can keep going at it for. We've done quite long videos about this before. I did a video a couple of months ago that kind of talked about this in depth. So again, I'll link to that video down in the description below so you can go and watch that in more detail if you want to. But the quick and simple version is be prepared for it to take a long time. These things don't happen quickly. I've been creating content for the best part of 20 years now and didn't get any traction for the first 10 years and didn't make much money for the first 10 years either, if any. So yeah, be prepared for it to take a while. I would only do it if it's something you enjoy. I think you kind of have to enjoy the content creation, social media, video side as much as you enjoy the Lego to actually be able to give it the time it needs to make any kind of success of it. Because, and the reason I say that is because I can see you're not just asking about how to get into social media, you're trying to make Lego into more than just a hobby. So if you're serious about wanting to make it into a business the way it is for us, you need to treat it as a business from the start and put business time into it, but accept that you're probably not going to make any money out of it for the first several years. So if you're willing to do significant part-time job hours, and I'm talking like 20, 30 hours a week, like significant time commitment. If you're willing to do that for a couple of years without making any money, then you'll probably get to the point where you can start making some money, because in that time you'll get good. I know there's a certain like minimum level of being able to talk into a camera, being able to be understood by other people. But even a lot of that you can teach yourself. I was nowhere near this confident on camera when I started. I had a stronger accent when I started. So even things like smoothing out my accent, practice, getting to the point where I can look down the lens of a camera and talk relatively coherently and fluently. These are all things I've taught myself rather than things that have come naturally. But yeah, the honest, simple, and probably not answer that you wanted to hear is you just got to put the reps in, put the time in, put the hours in. I have made thousands upon thousands upon thousands of YouTube, TikTok videos over the last 15 years. And yeah, it took a long time before anybody started watching them. So you got to enjoy it as much as the Lego. And if you do, you'll learn how to improve as you go. And that's probably the best advice that I can give. Be willing to put the time in, make sure you enjoy it, and just have fun and see where it takes you. There's no guarantees. Like with anything, you could put all that time in and still not get anywhere. You could start and go viral after a couple of weeks because you get a big stroke of luck or you're massively naturally talented at it. But assuming you're just a normal chap like me who's willing to work hard, give it a try, see if you enjoy it. And if you do, keep enjoying it. Don't worry too much about making any money. And if the money starts to come, you can start worrying about it then. And that's probably the short version. It's not as helpful as the long version, which is the video that I made about it before. And that brings us to the end of that batch of questions. As I said, when I put the original query out asking for questions, I've picked the ones that got the most upvotes on the community page. So as before, I've asked for questions for forthcoming Q&As down in the comments for this one. If you've not got a question of your own, but you particularly like a question you see down there, give it a thumbs up. The most popular ones are the ones that I'm most likely to answer in the next Q&A. I've probably got enough questions left over to do another one as well. So we'll probably record another one. And then the questions you submit here will be on the one after, if we start doing these a bit more frequently, which lots of people have asked me to do. Certainly in times when we're not going to be streaming so much, like over the next couple of weeks, it's a nice way for us to continue that back and forth that we always get on the streams. But hopefully you have enjoyed that. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego content. And thank you very much for watching.